There's no question, if you work in the nonprofit field, you are an optimist. You couldn't see the challenges that you do, but say, I can make this better, if you weren't an optimist. Musgrave Foundation Grant Committee member Tom Carlson sums it up nicely by saying, a sense of optimism is an essential ingredient if you're going to work in the nonprofit community. For over 35 years, the Musgrave Foundation has supported organizations that are anchored in optimism and hope. This is their story.
If you, on a day in, day out basis, touch people at their points of need, you become aware just how dreadful sometimes their lives can be. And you can't do that if you don't have a sense of optimism. And I think that stems from a belief in a higher power.
Part of the Musgrave Foundation's mission is to offer assistance to organizations that provide community services to those that need it most. The Council of Churches of the Ozarks shares in our mission to serve the most vulnerable so they might be able to reach their potential.
And in some ways, our mission is a mirror of the Musgrave Foundation. It's certainly a mirror, it seems to me, of Jeanette Musgrave and her vision for people. When I think about her, the legacy she's left for not just Springfield but the Ozarks, but that sense that there's infinite potential in every human being. That's where our mission mirrors her sense of looking optimistically at the community, no matter who they are, but especially the most vulnerable in our community. People may not readily see that they have infinite potential too. That's where the mission of the Council of Churches comes in. We're here to serve the most vulnerable. And that's where I think Jeanette Musgrave and the Council of Churches sort of mirror one another.
In recent years, the Musgrave Foundation began a tradition of allowing grantees to choose how to distribute a special $500 unrestricted gift that allowed each nonprofit to reach out and impact one or more families in a meaningful way during the Christmas season. Here's one heartwarming example.
To the grant committee members of the Musgrave Foundation, I want to read you a thank you note. Thank you so much for your consideration. My daughter's able to sit up in the bath for the very first time. This is huge. She can splash and enjoy bath time again like other kids her age. I am so grateful for the splashy seat Serena received. It will also allow us to enjoy kiddie pools this summer. Thank you, Courtney and Serena Ernst.
Another key focus of Mrs. Musgrave and of her foundation is scholarships, particularly for those engaging in the nursing profession. Cox College has been a big part of our grants over the years, helping students achieve their dreams.
I think education today, no one takes it for granted anymore, because an education is now something that's become harder to achieve because it's become so expensive. And so when they receive these scholarships, it opens doors. It truly does. It opens doors to students that probably would never have gone to college. So it opens those doors overnight to realize that my dream was small and now my dream is huge. I can do anything I wanted to do because that scholarship truly made it possible.
Brad and Lori had a big dream, to be able to attend Cox College together. Although constrained by debt, they set out on a 4-year plan to be over-the-road truck drivers in order to save enough money to fulfill their dream of becoming nurses. A Musgrave Foundation scholarship awarded to Lori helped make that dream come true.
When I got the Musgrave scholarship, it was really a blessing for sure. I had it last semester and also this semester. And having the money really helps pay tuition. It helps pay for books, which are very expensive. Sometimes the books are more expensive than the class itself. It always comes at a time when we really need the money bad. And so it really helps to have that and to know it's coming. And I think for any scholarship recipient, it's a blessing to receive any funds.
For her to get the scholarships, that's helped us to be able to continue this journey together side by side, and that has just been tremendous. We kind of help each other with that, so for her to be able to get the scholarships has been a really true blessing for both of us to be able to continue this and achieve our dream.
Together.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Musgrave was always concerned about hunger in the community. For over 15 years, the Musgrave Foundation has been one of the largest contributors to Ozarks Food Harvest and has helped them provide more than 17 million meals a year across 28 counties.
You know, we first started our relationship with the Musgrave Foundation back in 2005, so it's been about 15 years since that time. And so when you think about growth, when we got our first grant from the Musgrave Foundation, the food bank was distributing around 3.5 million pounds of food a year, which would equate to around 2.8 million meals a year. 15 years of funding later, from the Musgrave Foundation, Ozarks Food Harvest is distributing 17 million meals a year. What we do in 1 month now eclipses what we used to do in a year before our relationship with the Musgrave Foundation. Growth is certainly central to what they do.
Optimism is expressed in many ways and is certainly reflected in the Ozarks Food Harvest mission, transforming hunger into hope. What better way to see optimism in action than providing hope to those in need?
Back when husband was going to college, we had 3 boys home, and all of a sudden he got a slight pay increase, making $10 more per month, and food stamps got canceled. My gosh, it was kind of scary because we had food for a little while and then no more. Well, I used to take him over to a park that was close to where we lived, and at the back side of the park I had seen a sign that said food, and I'd seen this for a few years, and I decided to finally check it out. Sure enough, when I went over there with the kids, they gave me a basket of food. There were hot dogs and sugar and flour and butter and all kinds of things that I could use for cooking, and I cried all the way home. I was so happy that they were giving us food and that we were not going to go hungry before the next paycheck. That's what's motivated me to be somebody who helps others, and it has been a constant thing ever since that point. And that was a good thing to happen to me.
So often, the Musgrave Foundation has been the lead partner in efforts to bring the community together in support of early childhood development. Former Grant Committee Chairperson Charles Fuller always reflected on what a difference one can make in a child's life if you can deal with some of the obstacles they are facing early on. With Mr. Fuller's leadership, the members of the committee decided to establish the Lighthouse Child and Family Development Center. Here are just a couple of stories that reflect how the Lighthouse brings a sense of optimism and hope to the community.
We had a kiddo that came to us, a little baby at 6 months old, was diagnosed with failure to thrive. Wasn't meeting developmental milestones, and doctors were concerned about his prognosis. Within a month of being at Lighthouse, he was already starting to meet new milestones. And by the time he left our program, was right where he needed to be and even above. So it was amazing to be able to see that progress and to see where he came from and where he was when he left, and how we were able to make such a huge difference in his life. Lighthouse really feels like a family. It's not just a drop-off pickup center, but we really feel like we're a family with the families. And one story of that is we had a mom that she had just gotten a new job, and it was a great career advancement for her. This is a mom that really struggled, and the only thing she had, she didn't have a bicycle, she didn't have a car, so she actually had to walk her child to school and then have to walk to work every day, which was, walking to work was about an hour walk. We sent out an email to our families and asked if, does anybody possibly have a bicycle that you're not using? Within an hour, there was a brand new bicycle sitting in the office. And that one just kind of makes me tear up that we have such a beautiful family-centered focus here, that even the families that maybe aren't struggling as much care so much about the other families that they're willing to go above and beyond and help in that way.
Anybody who's lived here in Springfield for a long time is familiar with Phelps Grove Park, and Mrs. Musgrave lived in that area, and I believe she just really appreciated the trees and so forth. And I want to leave you with a thought. When you look at the next time you're at Phelps Grove and you're seeing maybe a new plant or a young tree, when you plant something, the first year it sleeps, the next year it creeps, and the third year it leaps. And that's what's happened with the way, in so many areas, I think, of what the Musgrave Foundation's done in our community.